Hello and welcome to the Dirty Dopers podcast. And if you saw our first episode, welcome back. I'm your host, Tech. And unfortunately, today Trippy and Diddy weren't able to make it. They had some sort of baby oil incident. However, with me I do have another friend. Some say you should keep your kitchen appliances away from him for fear of them getting sticky. Others say he keeps a pair of player killer dice in his back pocket at all times in case anyone wants to play D&D. All we know is he's called Bua.
What's up, y'all? So what are we talking about today? I saw your first pod.
So our first podcast was going over the Lusitania, and we hinted a little bit about elite bloodlines sitting at the same Thanksgiving table. Well, today I want to explain that the rulers of Britain, Germany, and Russia, all three were first cousins during World War I.
First cousins? Not even like second cousins, third cousins? Just straight first cousins, straight blood.
Oh, they were not allowed to kiss. But rumors say that Nicholas might have been kissing George and Willie. No, actually, what's really funny, and it's kind of a little gay, but like not trying to say that in a mean way, but I guess in letters between them, Nicholas would respond to George with calling him Georgie, and George responding by calling him Nicky, and then he would call Wilhelm Willie, and Wilhelm would call him Nicky. So, like, dude was close with both George and Wilhelm.
Yeah, I don't know about being an all-powerful ruler of my country and having someone call me by that kind of nickname. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm pretty damn close with them.
Exactly. If you are literally the ruler of a nation, if someone's calling you a cute little pet name like Nicky, Georgie, or Willie, they better damn well be close within kissing distance.
Yeah.
So, now, we have Queen Victoria of England. She was born in 1819, and she had this really weird dream of ending all wars within Europe by getting everyone to be related to each other. And so she started this marriage plan and everything else. And she started with Denmark. And so what we basically have is you have Wilhelm, born in 1859, who was the son of Princess Victoria and Frederick III of Germany. Princess Victoria being the daughter of Queen Victoria. Then you have George, born June 3rd of 1965, who was the son of Edward and Alexandra of Denmark, which would be King Edward of England, which would be Queen Victoria's son. So that's like Germany and England being married together. Then you have Denmark and England being married together. And then you have Nicholas, born May 18th, 1868, who was the son of Alexander and Maria, who was, married Alexandra Fedorovna, who was the granddaughter to Queen Victoria.
It's Fedorovna.
Fedorovna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just knew that one.
Definitely make sure, because I'm looking at your lines, you're definitely coming across quiet when you speak again. You got to really...
Well, to be fair, I was talking sideways to the mic, so I understand that part.
Yeah. So what I do when I talk sideways to the mic is I actually
bring your chin a little closer.
Yeah, you got to tuck in like this. Yeah, see how much better that is?
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I'll mark this and it's early enough on, I'll catch it, and I'll just edit this stuff out.
Bet.
Oh.
So she really thought she was going to end all war in Europe by making everyone family? Like, that doesn't compute in my head. because my family fights like cats and dogs.
Oh, exactly. Like, I think she was batshit crazy thinking everyone's going to get along.
They're gonna listen to great grandma until she passes, and then the world goes to shit.
Right. Now, here's the thing. We do have, when I was looking into some things, we have direct personality conflicts with George, who was seen as very reserved and conservative, versus Wilhelm, who was like very bold and brashful and flamboyant, because Wilhelm was born with a withered arm, so he had like
So what you tell me is he has a strong arm.
He's got a strong hand. Oh, Jesus. But no, he was born with a withered arm due to a complication during birth, so it gave him a inferiority complex where he felt the need to prove himself a lot.
Okay.
So, and that right there will come into play later on when war actually breaks out between countries, because they never formed a bond. They didn't trust each other.
But weren't they like all first cousins?
Yes. Now, technically, though, Nicholas married into the family.
Oh, okay.
So, Wilhelm was born first and was the oldest out of everyone, and Nicholas was the youngest, putting George in the middle. Now, the thing is, though, Wilhelm inherited a very, very young country. Let's see here. So, the Second Reich, but I couldn't find anything about a First Reich, but the Second Reich, which is when the German kingdoms actually became one unified empire, was in 1871, and war broke out in 1914. So that's 30, 40, 43 years.
Oh yeah, for how countries go, they were babies.
Oh yeah, they were definitely babies.
Yeah.
So that just, and let me see, Wilhelm inherited it in 1888. So the country was 17 years old when Wilhelm II inherited it, and it was during the year of three Kaisers, because the original founder of it died, and then Wilhelm's father died that same year, leaving Wilhelm in charge of a very, very new nation.
When was Wilhelm born again?
1859.
59. Shit, he's
He's like in his 30s?
yeah, he's in his 30s now. His country's half as old as he is.
1859
To 88.
88, so that's not even 30. He's 29.
His country's half his age.
Oh, God.
That's fresh.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're inheriting a country that's not even as old as you are? That is insane. And then to be related, and here's the thing, you're a new country, and your cousins are Russia and England.
And Wilhelm's the one with the strong arm?
Yeah, he's got the strong hand.
Yeah. I'd have a little bit of inferiority complex myself at that time.
Well, and so a big thing was Wilhelm inherited a navy, and he had a huge thing about naval pride. And then George, yeah, for whatever reason, old men really like boats.
They can't go to space, so the water's their last frontier. It takes all the gravity off their bones.
Agreed. I also think it's because young women like boats as well.
This is true.
So, what I'm trying to get at is George also served in the Navy. So both men really liked their boats. So they kind of had a thing about competing with navies and all that, which definitely didn't help tensions, especially when Germany built a ship that stole the blue riband, which was a national prize, from England. So it just didn't go well. Like, their personalities and their political things, they weren't mashing up. However, we've got multiple occasions where they all three were together growing up and stuff like that, and they were all fairly civil and everything else. But we have a lot of documentation of Nicholas spending a lot of time with both George and with Wilhelm. And I mean, at one point, and this is going to sound really, really gay, there's this one time that Russia and Germany got together, and Wilhelm and Nicholas were there, and they put an N and a W in the sky for Nicholas and Wilhelm, and to signify unity between the two.
They proposed to each other.
It's kind of like some type of weird proposal thing. Like, it sounds really romantic.
It does. It sounds like they unified all right.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot of really weird stuff. Like, that shows Russia was really friendly with both of them. Now, I want to go into a little bit about the way England was set up. Is you had a lot of occult societies going on during the time, and while George didn't necessarily agree with the occult and all that, and or follow it at all, he was very, very conservative and Christian. But a lot of the generals and aristocrats surrounding his courts were members of, like, especially the Freemasons. You had the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, Q. Aleister Crowley. You have the Theosophical Society. You have the Rosicrucian Neo-Templar movements. You have spiritualism. So, I mean, we have the Edwardian Europe that was just full of people doing seances, talking to the dead, stuff like that.
I'm not going to get into that part. The talking to the dead part. I got some words to say to that.
All right. But what can you tell us about the stuff going on in Russia? I know you looked into Tsar Alexander II. What can you tell us about him?
Well, he was the Tsar. He ruled as Tsar for 63 years. And one of his biggest movements was freeing 23 million serfs from their serfdom. And this was pretty big.
So today's
for
episode
the
of the Dirty Dopers
podcast
is brought to you by,
and
that's what I'd say if we had a sponsor. So back to what I was saying, though, is we've got a few really weird societies and stuff like that going on with the things in Britain at the time and the weird belief systems. What can you tell us about Tsar Nicholas's reign and what was going on in Russia and everything?
Well, Tsar Nicholas was a... Hold on. Fuck.
Go ahead. You can take your time.
Okay, there we go. My bad, my phone went off. All right. So he saw himself as God's perfect ruler. Let's unpack that for a second. His cousin has self-doubts about his image, and now we have a God complex.
I mean, divine right to rule wasn't an uncommon thing, though.
You're right, but, you know, at least we're not letting swords decide who rules the country.
Right, because we've developed bullets at this time.
Exactly.
So, I know there was a lot of things with Rasputin and stuff like that affecting the way Tsar Nicholas ruled?
Oh yeah, Rasputin was all over that shit. Let's talk about Rasputin for a little second. Like for the first off, that he was no high ordained priest of any religion or following. No, he was a peasant turned mystic, which was pretty common back then apparently.
Wait. Being a mystic was actually kind of common in old Russia?
Oh, absolutely, dude. The occult and a bunch of different followings and movements were arise during this time.
All right. So we've got some occult stuff and everything else going on with Russia as well. What about his personality?
Well, behind closed doors and with those he was close with, he was described as being gentle and devoted. He was introverted at heart and very reserved.
Okay, so kind of like a shy guy.
Oh, absolutely. You know, as shy as you get for thinking you're God's finest cream of the crop.
Obviously, as your son's laying in bed dying out of internal bleeding and doctors are giving him aspirin.
Yeah. Let's keep that prescription going and let's see how long the prince lasts.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually one of the things that gave Rasputin credibility with his wife, Alexandra.
Oh, yeah. Alexandra definitely sought out mystics and other spiritual healers during that time of, Alexei's hemophilia episodes.
Okay, and from my understanding, when Rasputin told the doctors, hey, stop giving him that blood thinner. I mean, he didn't know it was a blood thinner, but he's like, stop with that medicine. I know better.
Oh, yeah. He stopped all medicine and he did his prayers and said that his prayers and his touch healed Alexei when in reality it was getting rid of the aspirin and probably calming the child down so his body could actually do something about it.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I mean, I guess doctors don't always know best. I'm not discrediting doctors. Please, I want that to be known. I am not discrediting doctors at all. I'm just saying they're pill pushers.
Oh, absolutely. But that's where we'll just touch base on that and we'll leave that where it lies.
So, oh God, I am totally on the wrong notes page here. Oh, my bad. I do want to touch on some of the stuff going on with Germany. You have the German Theosophical Society. You have the, I am so sorry, any German listeners, the Guido, I don't know. It's German. Anger List Society.
I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to attempt it. Guido? I don't know. I don't speak
Guido
German.
von List Society.
I know there's a special way to pronounce that.
You have Germanen Norden? Order of the Teutons. It's got to be Teutons because I remember the Grand Tetons, which is a mountain range. Then you have the Ordo Templi Orientis. Jesus, this is sounding awful Latin for Germany. I'm just saying.
I mean, same region.
And then you have the Anthroposophical Society. I mean, these are all some really, really weird societies. Yeah, the Germany's, I mean, and it goes from World War I into World War II with the Nazi occultism and everything else. And that's kind of why we got to touch base, is because the occult has had such an influence on the leaders and generals. Because one of the things is, while the rulers themselves may not have been part of these societies specifically, they were definitely influenced by court members who were members of these societies.
Yeah, and for the most part, the rulers didn't really feel as if they needed to stop these threats because they never thought they'd reach the inside until their courts turned on them.
Exactly. Well, and see, here's the thing. Believe it was Wilhelm was warned before World War One broke out that this will be the end of monarchies. What did we see in between World War One and World War Two? We saw a major shift into more democratic and republican type societies.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Um, Russia had its share of the occultism as well, with the same Theosophical Society breaching Russia.
So
Uh,
what I understand theology to be and these theosophical societies is it's mostly the study of God and religion.
Pretty much. I know this specific society also taught where you're going mysticism and philosophy, but also taught in reincarnation and spiritualism, actual spiritual evolution in themselves.
See, and that's something that I found throughout the some of the other occult societies within Germany and England, where they believed in spiritualism, reincarnation. They mixed Eastern Orthodox traditions and stuff like that.
Oh
Some
yeah,
of
yeah,
them
yeah.
even studying Buddhism. So, now what's really interesting, since you mentioned reincarnation, I would like to state that even our best skeptics can't actually disprove modern stories of reincarnation.
True.
So, one of the most famous ones that I can remember off the top of my head is there's this little boy, and he was born in the 90s. And at like the age of like 3 or 4 or something like that, really young, he started having these nightmares. And he started describing how he was in a plane and like he launched from a ship and stuff like that and crashed. And he later gave details of like documenting soldiers and people like that, and he was saying that he was a World War II fighter pilot and that his plane went down. The parents went and later researched everything that their son had said was true.
Oh yeah, I completely believe in reincarnation. I think it just takes us a little time to come back. Like there's another story about a little girl that was said to be reincarnated.
Okay, I think I know which one. Go on.
She was reincarnated to, I want to say, some European family. I want to say British, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just gonna say European. Um, she was reincarnated from a maid or a hand, like pretty much a handmaid to a pharaoh from Egypt, ancient Egypt, and she actually knew where her city lied and the tombs lied because she was working in those areas.
I
And
remember that one.
She helped find them.
Yeah, yeah, I remember hearing about her.
Yeah.
There was another one over in some Eastern Asian type country, I believe, or India, somewhere along those lines. But she described being murdered or something like that. And she was like describing her family and where they lived and everything else. She took, and like she described her family, she took her current family and police to her family. It was like, this is where I used to live. And like described everything. And it all matched up with that family. Like, we cannot disprove this stuff. Like, governments have looked into it, skeptics have looked into it, scientists have looked into it. It's actually really interesting.
Oh, absolutely. I honestly believe, about three-quarter heartedly, that the earth is magnetically charged to our spiritual selves, and this is an anchoring place where we must live life for a short time.
and I can't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, I have this own personal idea on why we have missing limb syndrome, and it's not just because your brain is used to firing those nerves. It's because while the physical may be gone, the ethereal part of you still exists.
Oh, absolutely.
Do any trans people have phantom penis syndrome? I could see you laughing over there.
I mean, if we're making jokes, I might as well make my joke. If it's a bad joke, so I'm going to state that right there.
We are the dirty dopers.
If a transgender male or female gets dementia, do they get set back to default mode? Do they get confused to where their parts went?
Oh my god, that would be terrible. I don't think we've actually reached that in society yet. Oh my god, the next 40 years are going to be really, really interesting.
Anyone from the last generation, pretty much last 3 generations, they're going to be a field day in the fucking ward, in the retirement home, whatever the hell you end up at.
I've got a few medical friends. I'm going to have to post that to them and like see what they think about it. I mean, that's actually a really, really good question, all joking aside. Oh god, I am so sorry for anyone we offend.
I am too. I am part of the LGBT community.
Well,
it's
yeah,
I'm gonna go with the joke and an honest question.
Dude, I put my pans in storage before you came over. I'm just saying.
Good call, man. Good call. You want a non-stick, right? Well, we're about to make them stick.
Speaking of making things stick, apparently Queen Victoria's plan on keeping Europe from fighting by getting everyone to be related definitely didn't stick.
No. I don't know what she was thinking. For goodness sakes, there's assassinations within the family just to rise up. Let's make the entire country. She was planning the World War.
I mean, maybe it wouldn't put me past them. I mean, Britain, they like their empire expansion. Actually, there was a lot of bluffs and blunders that actually led up to World War One. I think we covered a lot of the more important stuff to where we can actually kind of touch on the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Yeah, we've got plenty of time to talk about Franz.
All right.
Which, did you know Franz was killed on Franz Street?
Are you sure it wasn't later named Franz Street?
Oh, no. Give us a moment here. I'm going to edit this part out. Yep, Franz Joseph Street. So, yeah, the fatal shots happened right at the corner of Apple Quay and Franz Joseph Street. So, Archduke Franz Ferdinand was killed on Franz Joseph Street because I believe his grandfather was Franz Joseph.
Damn.
Yeah, so imagine being killed on a street named after your grandfather.
Hey, man, you want to know about something real funny and something to think about?
What's that?
Which prince was it? I want to say it was Prince Henry having a coke problem.
Oh, God. Go on.
He's the only person in the world that could say He bought drugs with pictures of his grandmother, then did drugs with more pictures of his grandmother.
Jesus Christ.
Just food for thought. Thought that was amazing.
Man, I'm a little bit upset. I had a whole notation somewhere in here.
Well, here, while you're looking for that, I'll talk a little more about the occultism in Russia at the time.
Yeah, go for it. That seems to be interesting.
So let's see. Let's keep on going with the Theosophical Society. Their interest at the time was also about spiritual purification, hidden knowledge of the universe, of all universal things. They wanted to form a universal brotherhood to unite their pretty much faith with the entirety of the world. And they introduced the ideas of karma, the astral planes, and reincarnation into the area at this time.
Okay. That's a little bit interesting.
Isn't it though? Those beliefs all in one area. It's kind of interesting.
So I know I don't have a whole lot on what was going on in England, but with the German Theosophical Society, they mixed Eastern mysticism with Western esotericism, and then you have the Guido von List Society, who had an ancient Germanic priesthood based on runes, pagan revivalism, and racial mysticism, backed by wealthy German and Austrian patrons, which claimed to revive a secret pre-Christian Aryan priesthood hidden by Catholicism. Then you have Germanodornan Order of the Teutons, which were extreme nationalists with occult symbols, swastikas, runic mysticism, and Voikish, which is Big Germany over Little Germany ideology. And they later incubated the Thule Society and had racial purity oaths. Then you have the Ordo Templi Orientis, which had German origins and attracted educated upper middle class professionals and industrialists. And then the Anthroposophical Society, they were a Steiner split from the Theosophical Society. So a dude named Steiner split from the Theosophical Society and started his own movement, and it involved Christian mysticism, reincarnation, cosmic evolution, and esoteric Christianity. And he lectured to industrialists, educators, and members of the aristocracy. Sound familiar at all?
A little bit.
And then you have also the Aristophists, which were a mix of racial mysticism, pseudo-history, occult symbolism, obsessed with Atlantis. You know, that kind of rings a bell with the Nazis a little bit. Then they were also obsessed with lost Aryan civilizations, esoteric Christianity. Yeah, you can definitely see where this went.
Yeah.
So, and Wilhelm mocked theosophy and spiritualism, but he loved the symbolic pageantry, mystic ritual, and the idea of a divinely guided monarchy. But I did find finally what I wanted to state earlier. So, the level, because I wasn't really used to the way things worked in the British government and in monarchies at all. So basically you have the crown, which is the king and queen. Then you have the prince and princess. Under them, you have dukes and duchesses. Then you have, and they ruled large territories called a duchy. Then you have marquises and marchionesses, which control a mark, which is a border territory. Then you have earls and countesses, who rule county-sized areas. Then you have a viscount and viscountesses, which were often administrators to higher nobility. Then underneath those, we've got your barons and baronesses, which control a single estate or a small holding. And then knights were awarded for their service and stuff like that. Baronets were heraldry, but they were lower than a baron. Then you have your esquires and gentlemen, who were your wealthy landowners with no nobility. Merchants and craftsmen and skilled laborers were then underneath the wealthy landowners in their society. After that, you have your peasants and your rural laborers. And then even beneath the peasants, your house servants and your city laborers who worked in noble households were seen below normal peasants.
See, I only knew about part of that, and that's only because of learning a little bit about demonology and the hierarchy of like hell and stuff.
You know, there's some interesting stuff about hell and demonology and hierarchies. A lot of it actually comes from Dante, not from the Bible.
Yeah, you're right there.
And a lot of the ideas of hell are mimicked from Plato, who took the idea of Hades and mixed it in with some pseudo-Christianity to a degree. Like, hell itself has actually changed over the years depending on depictions, and Dante's Inferno actually sealed it in place.
True. The monarchy and the steps of the hierarchy also are read in the Tomb of Solomon.
Interesting. Okay. Hey, Bua, do you know what's really interesting?
What's that?
Dante's Inferno and Dante's depiction of hell doesn't have a place at all for people who alter the Bible.
Really?
No, never described it.
I figured that'd be the innermost circle for heresy and betrayal and stuff.
Nope. It's mostly over like the 7 deadly sins and like lust, greed, stuff like that. It's really honestly actually a comedy if you look at it. Like the people that are lustful, they're literally blown around by the winds of lust, constantly bumping into other naked bodies.
Sounds like that's what they wanted, so I guess their hell is their heaven?
To a degree, but in a not comforting way. It's really weird. When you look at Dante's Inferno, each layer of hell is specifically designed for the sin. And
yeah, I know that much.
Yeah, so it's actually quite interesting. But as far as changing words in a book, not a place in hell for it. According to Dante, according to Plato.
I still feel like it'd be the lowest depth for betrayal and heresy.
Okay.
But because you got to think, there's 7 sins, 9 layers. The first layer is limbo, and the last one is for betrayal and heresy.
Okay. So it's so bad that Dante couldn't describe it. I got you.
Yeah. At least that's my interpretation.
All right. So, but speaking on just trying to keep it in a wealthy time frame, because we do actually have a plan to go over the religious stuff eventually. We just have to get you to trust us first and show you what we found and allow you time to do some of your own research so you can come to the same conclusions or form your own different opinions. If you got a different opinion or find anything new, please drop it in the comments. We would love to hear.
Absolutely. Love learning new facts, different opinions, different viewpoints on how to interpret something. It's always a mystic walk.
Oh, absolutely. So, one of the things that got Archduke Franz Ferdinand killed was he married a duchess. He was an archduke, but married way lower than him. Like, let's go back to that whole thing. God bless America notes. Aha. Oh wait, she wasn't way lower. Eh, yeah, she's just not an archduchess, I guess.
Just Duchess.
Yeah.
Just a Duchess.
Well, I guess she just wasn't considered equal royalty to him, or at least enough for the Habsburg family, and they were like really strict on their marriages. I think that either that's Habsburg I'm thinking of, but this is the Habsburg. But they had strict marriage rules. I was thinking of the Habsburg jaw, which is like a known disease where you got like some absurd, what's his name? Stan from American Dad, like jaw.
You know, actually, I don't know their name, but I know of someone in town with that.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That sucks. That's rough.
Yeah, our buddy Michi. It's one of his, I guess, family friends.
Ah, okay. So, his family was so against the marriage of Sophie that they denied their heirs any inheritance to the throne.
Damn.
Yeah, and so what we have is not only did the family not accept this marriage, but apparently Archduke Franz had very different ideology compared to the rest of his family, and he wanted to change things a lot, which did not set well with anybody. So when he was assassinated, the day he visited Serbia was actually a Serbian national holiday celebrating their freedom. And Austria kind of like ruled over Serbia a little bit, but gave them some freedoms. But it was like a several hundred-year tradition that the Serbians were celebrating freedom and everything else over this one battle. I don't have the notes on the exact thing. But anyway, it was really, really important. So when an Austrian prince or archduke, might as well have been a prince, but when the Austrian archduke comes and is like parading through town and everything else on your sacred holiday, kind of made some people mad, especially some extremists. Now, the driver was Leopold Loika, and he was not familiar with this city at all. And after the first bombing attempt and everything else, they met at City Hall and everything. No one really updated the driver or showed him on the map where to go. And so when Archduke Franz Ferdinand wanted to go visit the troops in the hospital, the driver took a wrong turn, leading him right in front of the assassin. And then when the driver was told to back up, he accidentally stalled the car.
Someone failed at their job.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of failure leading up to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Or was it a fail? Question mark?
Well, and that's where there is room for a conspiracy that did his family want him to get assassinated? Was this planned out? Like, it's really hard to not think that more people other than Serbians wanted him to die. Yeah, cat's in the background.
Yeah, your neighbor fell down the stairs. One of the two.
I really hope my neighbor didn't fall down the stairs.
I think we would have heard some kind of yelp if they actually did. I'm sure it was the cat. Sounded like a plastic bag.
So it was there were a lot of balls dropped, or maybe some things definitely happened on purpose, because I don't know if Franz was being ignorant or if he was encouraged to go do this. Like, because all he wanted to do was get out of the city life with his wife and just kind of see something different, because he had a lot of political tension at home because of being married to someone he loved versus someone his family wanted him to marry.
I don't have anything to say about that.
Oh, okay. So there were quite a few blunders with there, like, and I don't, like I said, I can't see why anything would be allowed. I mean, Austrian intelligence definitely had to have known something was up. It was a planned thing. They posted the motor route. It was real. It was like an old school JFK, I guess. But that's all we really have for you today on this episode.
Say, if you want, I can say the other three cults that were present in Russia.
You know what? We've got enough time. Let's talk about these occults.
So the second one, after Theosophical Society, was the Martinism and Rosicrucianism.
Rosicrucianism.
Thank you. I was actually really struggling with that word. Thank you. Pretty much it's Christian mysticism traditions influenced by the Cabal, alchemy, and Hermetic philosophy. Martinism specifically emphasizing an inner spiritual transformation and the return to the higher divinity unity.
Okay.
Both were tolerated by Tsar Nicholas. Tsar Alexander. My bad. That was my bad. Tsar Alexander, if they avoided political activities. And Rasputin was quoted to be falsely identified as one of these. The other ones being, as you said, it's kind of share with Germany being Freemasonry. Even though it was banned in the early 19th century, until then it was pretty popular. Even after its banning, lobbies and lodges stayed open and pretty much kept teaching their focuses on the esoteric focuses, and especially in St. Petersburg, which is just so happens to be where Rasputin is.
Really? Okay.
And then the last one being Russian Orthodox mysticism and sectarian movements. These movements were not limited to the Eurodivi or the Holy Fools. I know I probably butchered that. They were eccentric wandering mystics, believed themselves to be divinely inspired. If anything, I think Rasputin would have followed into that one, but apparently his views morally relied closer to Martinism, to some people's focus. There was Skoptsis in Kalistis, radical sects with eccentric rituals and extreme practices, including flagellation and sexual abstinence. And then, just in general, the occult as a almost like fashion trend was being popped up in bookstores and salons, selling pamphlets, books, and memorabilia to alchemy, astrology, tarots, numerology, and even the Cabal during this time. So there's a lot going on in Russia during the time this all ended up happening.
It sounds like it. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of occult worship, a lot of spiritualism. I'm seeing a lot of non-Christian stuff that the church just can't stop.
Oh, absolutely.
And here's the thing. This all ties into World War I majorly because these are your generals. These are your officers. These are the people telling men to leap over the trenches and to charge the enemy machine guns. These are the people that are planning major battle operations. I wouldn't be surprised if there were trench layouts that were in some sort of weird occult symbolism
Oh, absolutely. I can see a connection of trenches making a pentagram.
or some type of weird symbol, man, that we don't know about.
It probably ended up being a swastika.
On the German side, probably. Uh, and then, like, another thing is you have a lot of major battles that took place under weird astrology. I don't have the notes on me right now. I'll be honest, I did not do the prep for that this episode. That was supposed to be trippy, but again, he and Diddy slipped into some baby oil and
Now we don't know where they are.
or
Done
where my
slipped out.
Matchbox cars went.
I go there.
You don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
You missed some Matchbox cars, some baby oil, and last time I heard you say some, what was it, a shoelace? They definitely made some anal beads, man.
Oh my gosh. Matchbox anal beads?
Rip and tear, man. Go down that racetrack.
I mean, I guess it's one way to paint your cars all brown or simulate mud.
I think at that point they'd be pretty red.
I mean, it depends on how often they practice the activity.
I meant more of, as I said, rip it and tear it.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh, it's not a lawnmower.
You're right. It's a high-power motor vehicle. I was just trying to get in contact with them for their car insurance. That's all I wanted, and they disappeared with the baby oil.
All I'm saying is I don't think Costco or Sam's Club sells it that big.
No, then why do you think there was like 4,000 bottles in Diddy's apartment?
Oh gosh. They wanted a really fun slip and slide, okay? Oh god. Boo is saying no more. He's saying he can't handle this. Boo is a silent laugher.
I am. I'm cackling over here.
Oh gosh. Oh, I don't care which side of the fence you lean on. It's funny.
Let us know in the comments. Maybe we'll even the fence out and we'll have one standing fence.
Just keep your Matchbox cars away from it.
And with that, Boo is out.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We hope you tune again next week. This is Tech signing out.